Gentlemen, James Tracy, Land Use Council for Fred Hill Materials. The reason I'm speaking during the portion of the consent agenda is because last week an issue came up from my perspective with regard to public comment on a consent agenda items that you gentlemen dealt with after the public comment period. The way the thing is set up right now, or where your attempt is set up right now, you're trying to hear public comment on the consent agenda, which you have published, and then you act on the consent agenda. But what you did was, and this is not subject to two items, this is standard procedure here, and I've always thought it was phony, to be absolutely blunt. If you're going to publish something and then change it after it's been published, it probably should be republished. Now I understand, Commissioner Sullivan, you took the time to talk to me out in the hallway last week about this issue and the process, and we're both sort of process junkies, and this may not be of interest to anybody, but in fact, I think you need, since this is a new process you're trying with the public comment period, I think you need to steel yourself to the fact that there might be times when an item was published on the consent agenda and you change it after it's been published without republishing it. You're probably going to have to wait another week, because the purpose of the whole thing, as I understand it, is public notification. The same is true with items on the agenda. For example, this morning you took the time to tell people that shoreline hearing program is going to be discussed later. Great, they can save their comments for that. But then the very next section of this public comment period is dedicated to what? Items on the agenda. So it gets very confusing, very confusing. So I guess the bottom line suggestion, I think it would be more coherent and more consistent with public notification if you were to kind of return to the old procedures. I would suggest that the old procedures return to where the public comment period is open. I won't take any more time. Thank you.
Just to be clear, I was encouraging people to suggest questions during this time that staff or possibly we could address later on during regular agenda items. I didn't mean to imply that we would open up that regular agenda time for questions at that time. So if you have questions to suggest, please do. So okay, on to the regular agenda.